We've been slaying the last couple of days over in the Patreon Discord community for the upper tiers. This is what we had going on today. Totally different trade, the opposite trade from yesterday and from the day before. So check this out real quick here, what I released this morning early before the move started really happening here.
Future trade altcoins. I'm looking for one more gasp of push up in either form of a higher local high squeaking that out, or most likely at this point, a higher or a lower high. So either way, I want that one last push up. And since I think the move is on the precipice, I'm going to have to use really short time frames. So,
all right. So the entire day today, what I had been looking for, even before Bitcoin's daily candle turned red, is I had been planning. I had reasons to believe that today's candle would turn red. Let me move my dumb ass over here. Based off of the idea that the 12-hour chart had 3 strikes of bearish divergence. And I'm not necessarily looking for a large move down, but rather a move down based off of, and I did this in the video, not just for VIPs, but for the daily update too, before this move all happened. 1, 2, 3. See how this is the highest high, second highest high, and third highest high? Well, in price, that was a high, third highest high, second highest high, first highest highs. So price going up, RSI going down, bearish divergence. The hit rate of 12-hour bearish divergence, even on the second one, is pretty good. But we got a third, and it was just such an obvious setup to me. But it's getting the RSI itself, the green is getting rejected from the green control zone, and it looks like it's going to get rejected by the EMA, which is the white line. So you got like a double rejection here. All right, with 3 strikes of bearish divergence. And the play really wasn't on Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin's move is going to be that big. The move is on altcoins, which is what I was leading, some of my VIPs and crackhead tiers, crypto crackhead tiers, to looking at, because we have a special situation with Ethereum. Just like I said, I was looking for, so remember in that video how price was right at the line, and I said small time frames, it was right here, right? I said one more gasp of air up. And that's exactly what I was looking for. I actually entered some shorts right here. It actually got 2 more small ones, but right now all my plays are in profit. I've already taken profit on a bunch of different plays, looking for 2% moves on Solana, VeChain, and then I moved into Chainlink based off this. So, so there's a lot of wishy-washiness going on with the markets in general, with Bitcoin doing one thing, Ethereum doing another, and then all the altcoins kind of like settling out somewhere. This is a very, I guess I could take this off since I'm not listening to myself on the video anymore. But the market right now, it's Bitcoin does one thing, and then it's almost like Bitcoin is a boat, right, going through the water, and it has a wake. Or no, maybe Bitcoin is the boat, Ethereum is the wake. And the wake creates waves. So the wake is like a big deal, like on a, can be a pretty big deal if you're on a placid lake, or, lake that's pretty flat or whatever, right? It can really rock some boats on the side if you're going too fast. So that honestly is kind of how things are feeling right now. Instead of everything is just, Bitcoin's a boat, and then you have smaller boats behind it, kind of in a line, just marching, just choo-chooing behind it, right? So it's not like a bunch of boats following each other. It's almost like a chain reaction, which is happening, and things are moving in totally different ways. And this market is really getting exciting, and it's getting extremely fun to trade. So what can we expect for Bitcoin here coming up? I have 3 main scenarios that I think will play out, what that means for altcoins and that dynamic with the boat and the wake, and then the ripples from the wake. So the ripples would be all the other altcoins outside of Ethereum. And in that analogy, Cardano would be a stone. Like Cardano's just the anchor. It's not doing jack crap right now. But anyway, Cardano will have its day here soon. But I would assume price wise, I have 3 scenarios that I see playing out. First is the 12-hour comes down, checks the 21, and keeps this general pattern of closing candles like this until it breaks out, screaming up towards all-time highs. I could see that happening. That might be my number 1 guess. I think this is going to be, in general, a bullish kind of continuation pattern that doesn't have to flag down first. I'm almost seeing a lower high later, but But within this, you can get, 5 and 6% moves. This can get really choppy here. So look from the top of this this candle. I mean, I would guess that's 5.5, 6% down to the 12-hour 21, almost 7%. So, and then the way alts and Ethereum moves towards Bitcoin 7%, that's pretty big, super tradable stuff, right? So that is my first, I would guess that would be my first most likely scenario. And the reason why I'm guessing that, and I covered this on my video yesterday just to show you one more time the fractal that I think is playing out and where we're at. I think we're roughly right here. And I think the trade setup today was even more beautiful than this because you didn't get 3 strikes of bearish divergence before a nice move down. And so it was actually easier to trade this time than it was. So I think we're somewhere about right here. And what we just saw was a wick up, and we're going to get a move down close to the 21 before continuation and really breaking out of this little pattern that we got going on, this sideways and up channel. I think we're going to get a breakout, but I think we're going to get a visit down to the 12-hour 21, a wick down, and that probably is the same size of move as what I am expecting right now. Nope, that was even a bigger. Did I go from too high? Let me zoom in. No, that doesn't look like 10%. Maybe it was 9% move. All right. So, but in general, I do really see continuation. Even though you might have, 8 and 10% moves up and down like this, I think the general idea is, I think Bitcoin's going to march up for quite a while, with these hesitations. So, and the reason why I'm covering this, not just saying, hey, I think Bitcoin will eventually go up at the end of the week. I'm doing more short-term time frame because alts are really swinging right now, folks. Alts are swinging up and they're going to swing down. And this is a really, really interesting market right now. So I'm going into the smaller time frames on Bitcoin. So what does this mean for Ethereum? If that target is hit. So this is target number 1. What does that mean for Ethereum? I would say Ethereum comes back down and checks a similar EMA. Let's go to the 12-hour. Maybe not that low. I think Ethereum actually might hold a little stronger. Something to the effect of coming back down and riding on its 4-hour 10 and 21, something to this effect if that were to happen. And I think Ethereum could recover pretty well on this horizontal. The 4-hour chart, just kind of stay on top of the 4-hour before breaking out and moseying up. So, but in the meantime, that is even a bigger move than what Bitcoin would get, right? Look, no, it's not. It's almost exactly the same. I apologize. So that would be my guess for Ethereum because Ethereum did just break out. It just broke out of a horizontal, out of a range. So I don't know if Ethereum will break back into it, similar to how Bitcoin likely will not break back into its range because Bitcoin would have to go down to 52K in order for that to happen. So I think this will be a healthy little pullback is what's happening here, but very, very tradable event, especially with altcoins doing their thing right now. So let's look at Bitcoin on the daily chart. And let's draw a line over the daily 10 and see how that aligns with the 12-hour 21. So this essentially would mean either today or tomorrow, a wick below the daily 21, which is the pink line I just drew in, and then a closure above. Pretty much what that means. Now, farther downside targets. If this ends up, if Bitcoin needs to form a higher low first, right? So now I'm going to go to I'm on the daily chart. So classically, Bitcoin, it'll form higher lows before it keep charging up, right? Unlike what happened when Bitcoin started screaming up from 10K straight to 40K, there weren't a whole lot of higher lows. I think there was only one notable one. And if you want to see what that is, it is right here. It really only formed one higher low. This is just a massive consolidation, but with a higher low. And the rest of it did just go up. Like this isn't a higher low. Here, let's zoom in. It just kept riding the 10 up, right? The entire time. No higher lows until here, or actually till here. So I think that could happen. But if Bitcoin needs to form a higher low now before it charges up in November to then break all-time highs, Bitcoin could it could easily just follow this pattern here and close the month really bearish looking and essentially be a fake out on the monthly chart before it then bounces up and then blasts the very first moments of November and smashes all-time highs. So that would be my farther downside target for Bitcoin, would be somewhere around the 47K level, and it would probably be on a wick basis. I would assume that there would not be many daily closures below the daily 21, which is rising. So something to this effect, a quick thing down and then quickly come back up, something to that effect. But I think this line could be hit. Or the way it could hit this line, instead of coming down quickly, you could get a bearish cross of the daily 10 with the 21, and it could slow right in here, slow, then come down, check it, close back up. Now you're at November 7th, slam, you come up. So this higher low structure is the lower end, and that would mean pretty, fairly big downside movements for the entire altcoin market if that were to happen. I think that the most likely scenario is Bitcoin doesn't necessarily need to form a higher low quite yet. I don't think it needs to do it. But I would say some higher low, either as low as 47K following this trend line here, or forming a higher low at the top of this range, somewhere around the 48 to 50K range, forming a higher low 48 to 50. So I guess 47 to 50 would be my box for a higher low. For my scenario number 2. Now, scenario number 3, or a what if, is that Bitcoin, does something extreme where it comes down and retests this low. I don't know if that's really in the books for something even more than 5% probability. So I'm not even going to postulate that right now, because the strength, the Bitcoin does have a lot of strength. The trend is up. So my most bearish, I guess, is still my second most probable scenario is a higher low needs to be formed. But personally, I would guess that the most probable scenario is that we do not need a higher low yet, and a higher low will come after all-time highs. That is my specific number one guess. However, with a number one guess, you need to be aware of a number 2 and 3 guess. In this case, I'm only giving you 2, because the number 2 guess plays out. Sometimes your number 4 guess plays out, right? So you need to be aware that multiple things could happen and not just get focused on the one you want or you think is most likely to happen. So I want to be very, very careful with how I'm communicating this. These are 2 scenarios that I think could easily play out. Both could play out. Just because I'm picking one as number 1 doesn't mean let's root for that and trade all in on that idea, right? Because both could easily happen, but these are the reasons and the structures behind why I think they could happen. All right, so let's take a look at Cardano. I've been kind of ignoring Cardano for a bit because it's a stable coin right now. What the hell is up with Cardano? I honestly don't know. I don't know. I think it's due. So looking at the daily chart, I mean, soon enough, it's gonna get a squeeze play, and on a daily, and those can be extremely powerful. So squeeze play means this red comes above the yellow. That's simply it crosses above. It's a bullish cross of the daily 10. So let's look how good of history that has. Watch. Pretty good right there, right? All right. So after a downturn, so you have a downturn, you have a cross, and you get a nice move up. Is this a tradable move? Actually, you didn't have a chance to trade, it just skyrocketed. So during this downtrend, that was not very tradable. So let's take a look back here. Didn't cross. Crossed here, let it from about 10 cents up to $1. So these crosses can be powerful both to the upside and the downside. Sometimes, so this cross here had a few, actually that's a skim. This is a cross. So this cross to the downside, it did get a big move down. So they're powerful both to the upside and the downside. But the idea behind this is that Cardano is situating itself to get one to the upside soon, and it could be a pretty powerful move. It could really lead Cardano, I mean, well beyond $3 into the $4, before the 10 EMA ever comes back down, the yellow come back down to check, or the red to come back down to check the yellow. So Cardano could be having a move here cooking up in November, and because it's gone sideways and down for so long, while most other coins haven't, it's essentially putting in its jail time, right? And it's almost like Cardano went to jail, is doing a lot of push-ups and sit-ups, and is, you know, trading his way to get more protein in meat so he can get bigger. And he's doing exercise in jail, ready to like get out of jail being buff. Like this is essentially jail time with exercise. So I see this as not a horrible thing for Cardano, even though for Cardano holders, this is really boring stuff. But doing your jail time and putting in your exercise and your work, it could really leave jail buff. It could get a powerful move. And personally, even though from a project standpoint, I'm not a huge fan of Cardano, I do like Cardano's chart in general because it's so volatile. So I want to be very clear about my feelings about Cardano. I like trading Cardano. I like the chart. I like it because the price moves, and it moves really aggressively sometimes. And it's fun. It's just a fun chart to trade outside of my opinions on what the project is doing or not doing and promises being made and all that stuff. So, so I've had a lot of comments on YouTube. You're talking about Cardano a lot. Did you change it? No, I didn't change my mind. I sincerely have the thought that this is maybe the most overvalued asset, like maybe in the history of the world. I still think that, but independent of that, you know, people are buying it and it's super volatile and it's a lot of money to be made. And that's all I care about. I don't care if they are selling black market testicles, but they haven't sold a single one yet and have zero revenue and they're worth 78 billion, which is bigger than Ford Motor Company. So I have my opinions about, you know, and it's about the project and how much investor money is in it to the point of insanity, but I like trading the chart. Okay. And I think the chart has more in it, and I think it can really charge up. And this bull run, I mean, I could easily see like 650. I think it could pass 650 on this next EMA cross, on just one more EMA cross. I bet it could get, $5 to $6 on that EMA cross. It could be a huge and powerful move. I'm telling you. Now, do I think people should be, you know, well, I guess I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't go there. So, but you know my opinions on that, and I've had a lot of confusion on my channel about that. So I'm going on rants about Cardano. Everybody loves Cardano. I will end it with that. And y'all just got Timified. Make sure you hit like before you go and leave me a comment. We'll see you next time.